Hey, real talk, as men, we need to discuss testosterone levels and erectile dysfunction. I'm glad I have your attention. Hey everybody, what's up? And welcome to Sexual Thoughts with Dr. Nick. And I know this is a big transition going from Fun Friday and anal sex to Serious Saturday, I guess, and talking about testosterone levels and erectile dysfunction. And yes, in the intro I mentioned men, but ladies listen up too, because if your man is coming into his mid to late 30s or above, there could be things that he's doing right now that's having a negative impact on his testosterone level, which could lead to him having to deal with erectile dysfunction. Therefore, he may not be able to have sex with you. That's what I'm saying. If you know a guy, even your father or your current man, please feel free to share this video with him. I'm totally cool with it, because things that I've done myself that I'm going to speak about in a minute that I didn't realize had a negative impact on my testosterone level. And I'm talking about just eating certain foods, how I was cooking my foods, and little things like that. So you know what? Let's talk about that today. So the first thing I have to mention is soy and soy products. And for me, it's the veggie burgers, because I'm sitting here trying to eat healthy just like everyone else. And I'm thinking, you know what? I'm just going to stay away from the beef and all that nasty stuff. So I'll eat veggie burgers. But I wasn't really thinking about it. But the first ingredient on soy burgers or veggie burgers is soybeans. And that's the base. So I'm sitting here eating all that soy, which my body converted into estrogen. And if you don't know how like the hormone cycle works for guys, we typically make our testosterone during the night when we sleep. That's kind of like why we wake up horny in the morning, okay? And so our testosterone level is here and our estrogen level is here. But over the day, this kind of falls off. And the soy products can help to maintain an artificially high estrogen level, where it actually should be down here. So I just want to say, yes, soy products are every place nowadays. So if you can avoid them, I would. I'm trying to cut them out altogether, including soy milk. You know, I wasn't a big fan of that to begin with, but still, it's being sold every place, and it's healthy. But I'm just saying, I'm trying to cut out everything. So if I were you, I would try to back down off of it or avoid it altogether. And secondly, I have to mention plastics. But before I jump into plastics, I want to introduce you to a word called xenoestrogens. And pretty much xenoestrogens are chemicals that imitate estrogen. All right, you got that? And they're typically found in plastics. All right, so think about it this way. Think about how many times a day you interact with plastics, because they are every place. You know, they're in your car, they're in your computer keyboard, they are every place. So actually think about how long you can go throughout your day without touching something plastic. I would dare to guess that it's only just a few seconds. But turning to food here, think about those clear water bottles that we drink out of every day. You know, we've all done it. So, but the problem is sometimes those xenoestrogens that are found in the plastic leach into the water, and we drink it right down. All right, that's a pretty easy one to see. And just take it a step further in talking about how we actually cook our food, especially putting plastics in the microwave. So I'm telling you right now, stop putting plastics in the microwave. Switch over to glass. Why? Because when you cook your food in plastic in the microwave, those xenoestrogens actually heat up, and more of them leach into your food, and then you're sitting there eating them right down. That's actually like the worst thing that you can do. So I say, please switch over to like Pyrex or use glass or something different. And of course, you're sitting there thinking right now, well, it's only just that much, other chemicals that go into the food. And you know what? You're right. But think about it this way: if you heat up something in the microwave about 2 or 3 times a day over the course of a year, or 5 years, or 10 years, or 20 years, you know what? That's a pretty good dose of xenoestrogens, something that you do not want to have in your system. And third, I have to mention nonstick pans. And granted, the jury is still out on this one, but just to be on the safe side, I want to mention it anyhow. Because yes, those nonstick pans are great. We've all had them. We probably still have them right now. But what happens is over time, that nonstick surface tends to flake away. And we've seen that before, I'm sure. So yeah, I'm sure some of that nonstick surface, the flakes, went down the drain. And at the same time, some of it went into your food. So me personally, I would recommend maybe changing out those pans once every 2 years, because think about it this way. Once a nonstick pan is sticking, it's pretty much broken and that surface is gone. So the question is, where did the surface go? Did it go down the drain or go into your body where it starts to act as estrogen as your body breaks it down? And finally, I had to talk about meat products, and more specifically, beef, chicken, and fish. And I also have to include dairy on this list as well, because think about it like this. Today, they are pumping these animals so full of artificial hormones, it's insane. I mean, some of these cows and some of these steers are over 1,000 pounds, easily over 1,000 pounds. And have you seen the size of today's chicken breast? Because I swear, today's chicken breasts are the same size of turkey breasts from like 20 years ago. And as for fish, we keep dumping chemicals in the water and everything like that. Who knows what kind of chemical stew that they're swimming in, and we're just eating them right down. And of course, I don't want to sound like I'm a tree hugger or anything close like that, but that's just keeping it real. And just to put the eye on this, I can say I like to think back to things I was doing to myself recently. I mean, yeah, I'm sitting here eating veggie burgers, trying to eat healthy, or thinking that I'm eating healthy. I'm using all this plastic in the microwave to heat things up, and I'm drinking cow's milk like it's going out of style. All right. So I'm just saying that I was doing these things too on a daily basis over the past 20 or 30 years. So yeah. And at the same time, I want to end on some good news, because you know what? There are some things that you can do to make a change. And so, as I close out this video, I just want to say there are certain vegetables out there that you can eat that helps to remove some of the extra estrogen that is found in your system. And they're called the cruciferous group of vegetables. And unfortunately, they are stereotypically the nasty vegetables. The broccoli, the cauliflower, the kale. But if you like collard greens, go ahead and have at it, because they are also on that list of good vegetables. Oh yeah, just be careful of the sodium level too. And also, I want to add this really quickly before I forget. Watermelon almost has the same chemical that's found in Viagra, believe it or not. So if you, I'm not going to tell you to eat a whole watermelon. I'm not even going to do that. But there's the chemical in Viagra is also found in watermelons. And furthermore, the dose is actually almost 3 times higher if you can find the yellow watermelon. So I'm just putting that out there. So yeah, fellas, as we get older, we're going to have to deal with this stuff sooner or later. So me personally, I decided to start to deal with it now before the problem shows up and or gets worse. And that's just me keeping it real. So yes, this is part 1 of this video series. So I will make more of them just to keep the human face on this and tell you how my body is changing through the changes that I've made to my diet. So on that note, I'm out. You guys have a great day. Stay tuned. I'll talk to you soon. All right.